Hi, welcome to the Gear Garage. My name is Zach, and this is my little show about whitewater things. And today I want to once again talk about river knives. And hopefully this is one of the last episodes I ever do about river knives because I've done a lot. And this will detail kind of what I look for in a river knife, what I consider a primary quality and a secondary quality. These are just my opinions. I could be totally wrong, but just want to throw out what I think about things you should think about when choosing a river knife. So I'll start with the primary qualities. And the first is how it attaches to your PFD. Now, I'm a big fan of internal pocket knives. So like an internal one attaches just like in the pocket. So if you want like a folder knife that goes in your pocket, there's not a whole lot to think about. But those of you that like external knives, this is something you might want to think about because they all attach a little bit differently. This is a cool knife, but it's kind of loose. It's on here solidly, but it's kind of loose. Some of them have more solid attachments and there's all kinds of things you can do. The bear claw has a cool clip in the back, but it's not, it could come off. So there's just a lot to think about how it attaches to your PFD. Kind of an important thing. Next is, how does the knife cut? How does it cut rope specifically? Does it have a good sharp edge, or is it like, is it okay? I would personally buy a river knife from a company that makes knives, like a knife company. There's a lot of companies that sell river knives that they make river stuff, but I really focus on high quality steel. So Gerber is a good company. This knife here has an awesome blade on it. Gerber's a knife company. My personal favorite is Spyderco. They're more expensive, but these knives, these blades are amazingly sharp, high quality steel. Some things I look for in a river knife are, one, a full serrated edge, not a partial serrated edge. Let's see, this knife here, it's a cool knife, but serration is only like an inch, and then it's like a sharp blade. It's kind of weird to cut rope with like half serrated edge. So I want the serrations to be pretty strong, which these aren't, and go all the way up the blade. So that's the first thing. And next is like the shape. I think that having blades that go straight up and down like this cut rope better than something that kind of bends backwards a little bit, right? If you take a rope and this will zip through it, or if a blade is angled down, if that makes sense, it's harder to get as much force on the blade. You might even consider something like the bear claw, where it's almost like it's almost like curved over, that really rips through rope. I personally like a big, nice blade that's straight. So those are some big things. Again, the quality, a full serration, and the shape of the blade matters. Next, I think a blunt tip is important. When the primary use of this is to cut people free from things, or cut ropes free. So you don't need to poke things. You're not fighting off bears. So in these emergency situations, you might accidentally drop the knife on your foot or in a raft, and you want to make this as safe as you can. So I'm going to go for a blunt tip. That's ideal for me. Also a one-sided blade, right? Because sometimes I might put my thumb on the side to really give it in there. This knife right here has a serrated edge, which is kind of a weak serrated edge on this side, and a sharp blade on that side. So if I go in to push really hard, I might cut my thumb. And there's no point, there's no reason, there's no value other than like cutting tomatoes in camp, which you shouldn't be doing with your safety equipment, but whatever. There's no real value in terms of safety in having this side be sharp. So I'm really gonna, again, go for just one side being a long serrated edge, and this side being just like dull, or not even a knife, just like a straight edge, if you can see that. And then finally, the handle. Is the handle nice to grab when you're using it to cut, which is an important thing because you'll get a better cut if you like holding the handle. Most of the folders, I really like the handles. They're really nice handles. A lot of people love the bear claw because they put their finger through here and it's hard to drop or lose. It's a little small for my hand, so I feel a little weird using it personally, but some people love the bear claw. I love this knife by Witchard. It has a nice big handle, easy to grab when I'm cutting rope. Little things like this one, little metal things. The metal is going to be cold, and your hands are cold. It's really hard to cut with a handle like this. So I don't love this handle, although it turns out this company makes separate little handle things you can put on here to make the handle bigger. This is one of my least favorite handles. It's just kind of hard to cut with. So when you're looking at a good knife, you want to find something that has a handle that you want to grab. So some secondary considerations to think about would be the color. I think it's nice if they're a bright color. They're easy to see. Like I know the knife is right here. This is a nice bright orange. Something that's all black, it's not a big deal, but it's something I'm gonna try to avoid. Next is weight. Everything we put in our PFD, everything that's dense like knives and carabiners and pulleys, all that stuff is additive. And next thing you know, you're not floating that well. And so keeping the weight down is important. So, trying to minimize the weight of your knife is something I would attempt to do. Also, bulkiness. I love this knife for so many reasons. It has a trigger to get it out. It's a great knife, full serrated edge, nice big handle, but it's a very bulky thing to have on my PFD. And so if I'm a rafter, especially getting in and out of the raft with this big bulky knife in the way is kind of annoying. This one is less bulky, but it's still kind of in the way. I've actually kayaked with it a bit, and it kind of is annoying to me. So having it not be bulky is helpful. And then just bonus features. Do they have extra bonus things? Right, this one has this thing right here. Can I guess open oxygen tank? Something I'm never going to use, but I don't know. Maybe that's a nice bonus feature. A lot of the NRS knives have bottle openers, which I think is a silly bonus feature, but maybe it's a bonus feature. So does the knife do other interesting things? That's kind of nice. And finally, just like how well does the knife stay in the sheath? This one's cool because it has this little rubber band that keeps it in. So when the knife stays in pretty well like on its own, but this rubber band really secures it in its place. Some knives, I don't have it in front of me, but like the classic Gerber just would fall out a lot. So how secure it is in the sheath. Some of the newer knives have trigger mechanisms, like you can't get it out, but this trigger mechanism allows you to get it out. That one, this Witcher knife has a trigger mechanism. This deep sea knife won't come out unless you trigger it. So having some sort of trigger mechanism is pretty nice. And that's actually, maybe it would go in the primary category. So just to review, the primary things I look for are attachment to the PFD, which I guess that includes some trigger mechanism in that. How well does it cut rope? Is this a high quality, full serrated edge and a cool blade shape? I want a blunt tip, I want a one-sided blade, and I want a nice handle that's grabbable. And the secondary things is like a bright color, lightweight, bulky, bonus features. And finally, cost. A lot of people are buying the cheapest knife they can. Now, this is an important piece of safety equipment. So why would you skimp here? I don't get it. Right? I just don't get it. Like I would try to spend some money on this item because it's so important that if you get in the situation that you can cut yourself free. So there's a lot of cheap river knives out there, but I highly recommend like maybe not skimping here. My favorite knife right now is this Spyderco Atlantic Salt. This is like $120. It's a lot of money for a river knife, but this thing is awesome. If you're looking to save some money, the Gerber, whatever this one's called, the Gerber, I can't remember, but it's a sweet knife. It's like $30. It's a great knife. For an external knife, the CRKT Bear Claw, it's pretty affordable. It's a good knife. So, trying to save money, there are good knives, but spending some money here is a really nice deal. So, those are my thoughts on things I look for. Finally, just want to have a little discussion on external versus internal knives and sort of the debate here. And a lot of you know I'm a big fan of and I've already mentioned this, knives that are like in a pocket. And that's if I have a good pocket in front of me. These new PFDs have a pocket right here in front of me, which is really nice. So what I do as a practice thing is I close my eyes and see if I can quickly access my knife, knowing where it is. And so I can deploy that pretty fast, right? Because the pocket's right here and because I always leave my zippers up top. I always do this. Also, so I can get to my whistle. I don't have my zippers down to the side or anything. And so I can access my knife pretty quick. If I didn't have this big pocket and I had some other PFD where there's a pocket I have to go rummaging through, I may not be as into folding knives that go in pockets. Those of you that have external knives, I mean, it's kind of nice because they're quick to access. Again, it's a little quicker. I can get to this one pretty quick. I'm ready to rock. But that's with my right hand. If I have to access it with my left hand, I can still get to it, but it's a little unwieldy and weird. So I think about with external knives, can I access it quickly with both hands and access it safely? So with an external knife, I want to consider can I access it? And also, if I'm pulling myself back into a raft or something, is this going to get in the way? Is this one bulky thing that's going to get in the way for that? Because I can imagine getting into a raft quickly, many times over my career, is probably more important than maybe I might once need a knife 1 second faster. And so Maybe think about that when you're thinking about an external knife. And also, where you mount your external knife is really important. If you put it here and up top, a lot of people put them here, but that blade is facing you and you pull it out, you might cut your neck, right? Something to think about. So a lot of people that put knives up here on their lapels or whatever, I would just think about the blades away from your neck the way that it's set up. I see a handful of people here and there where it's set up in a way that the blade will like cut their neck as they pull it out. And just like where you want it depends on who you are and what you're doing. Personally, for kayaking, I don't mind external knives, kind of nice. For rafting, I'm personally always going with a folder in my pocket. So a lot of debate here, lots of questions. I'll put a link down in the show notes below with an Amazon list of my favorite knives. So if you want to go Amazon shopping, I get a little bit of a commission if you buy it from our thing, so consider it. But those are my general thoughts about what I look for in river knives. As always, if you have things to add to that list or change on the list or give your opinions, and again, this is just my opinion based on what I know. If you know more or have better ideas, please share them with everybody in the comments. And those of you that are watching this, check out the comments because there's probably tons of nuggets of wisdom in there from others. So that's it. Don't forget to like this. Hit the like button. It costs you nothing and it stokes me out. So think about it. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Thanks.